Look at it. Look at that. Hey guys, welcome back to TAMIYA Legends, and once again thank you for stopping by. So today's video is really Marui Legends. So I'll put a link in the description to the first video of this, which is basically me saying, in my opinion, this is 100% the sexiest vintage RC car of all time, on how it looks given the timeline and what was around at the time. I just think this thing is absolutely stunning. So yeah, the purpose of this video now is to get it finished. So we've got a TBG shell and wing. We've got some 3D printed wing mounts. Luckily enough, I've been through my tub of screws and I've got 8 really small screws needed to mount the wing. So that's a result. Body itself is just PS5 black. Looks superb, and then obviously we'll get it decaled up. Also got to do the tyre writing because it's mega important on this car. It's one of those cars where tyre writing is an absolute must, because the white lettering consumes almost all the tyre, which you'll see as we go on. And then what I want to do once that's done is blast it over with some silicone spray to really make the tyres look new. I think I'm probably going to drop the shocks off just to give them a bit of a clean, and I have to sort the driver out. Not too sure what's going on with this. It's not like a TAMIYA helmet where it's just 2-piece and the face is moulded into the first piece. This is 3-piece. The actual face bit is a separate bit inside each side of the helmet. So yeah, I like the body. It's got silver body and it's got black seat belts. Happy with that. It's got brown gloves. I'm probably going to change those to red. I'll just brush paint them, and I want a more vibrant red. So if I can sort this out, it's not great, but if I can sort it out, I mean, anyway, we'll worry about that when I get to it. But whatever helmet or head I use, it'll be in just TAMIYA red, because it's really, for me, the red helmet and red gloves. When you see it finished, you'll see why it's those colours, because it just matches the whole car. The actual box art helmet colour's blue for this car, which I always was kind of shocked at. It didn't seem to go. Anyway, what else we got to do? So that's basically it. At the end of this video, it'll be finished and it'll look absolutely mint. And hopefully, I'll justify in the first video and this video calling this the sexiest vintage RC car of all time. So first step is to cut out this body. This is probably the longest part of this whole job. So the lines on the shell are pretty good, but they're pretty rough down here from the mould. It's really kind of squiggly. So I'm just going to have to I'll have to cut it a little bit shorter than it should be to get it nice and straight and sharp. The main lines to cut out are reasonably simple to get over front shocks. And then the back of it, it's basically straight lines. But I do have to cut out these 2 squares, because the whole body shell sits over the rear shocks and they poke through. So that's probably the most time consuming. Oh, and the wing. Now the wing itself, it kind of, because of the shape of it, it looks a little bit daunting, the cut lines, but it's pretty much straight all the way around, so that's not too bad. So less babble, more action, Glenn. So I'll get these cut out and sanded, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look. So just before I do cut it out, I'd forgot that the front windscreen is cut out. So I thought, while the body's rigid, I'll do the front window and the 2 squares. And the way I'm doing that, I'm just putting a new blade in the knife, and you just gently keep scoring around the shape of it, which I've done. Then I've just used the body reamer just to put a big hole in there, and then what I'll do is I'll just put 4 cuts up to the lines, and then I can start bending the plastic. I have tried using the knife and keep scoring to cut out, but I don't find that works for me. So I'm going to try this method, which will hopefully let me bend it in and out, but let's see. Right, that method turned out pretty good. I don't know if it's me who's not very good at doing this method, but I don't seem to get the lines straight enough so that one side bend it and it pops out, it's done. I always have to go back and sand. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad at all, and it's far easier than trying to do it with scissors, but I just wish I could get it a little bit sort of sharper. Maybe because it's a reproduction shell that doesn't help, because the lines are not, you know, not mega sharp. But anyway, that'll need sanding. But yeah, let's get the rest of it cut out now. Right, that's the shell roughly cut out. Needs sanding, and I've put the body mount holes in, and they actually really do tie up to the reproduction shell, which makes a change. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. As I say, it's got to be sanded yet, but everything's in the right position, which is important. I actually thought that it was going to have the right stance when I was messing around, but when you put the shell on, you can see it kind of needs to be lower. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself now. You guys know what I'm like on how these look, but I will drop that front shock. It's got another mounting to the side, which will drop it slightly lower. That's it at full stance. Now if I just drop it as much as it will on the front, which is to there, and then I can match it with the back very slightly. Anyway, again, we'll deal with this later. But yeah, so far so good. So next up, I'll get the wing cut out. Right, so wing cut out. It's just, this wing is, it's epic is the word I'm looking for. The shape of it is just absolutely awesome. It really does. It's just so different from anything else. What I'm going to do now is I might as well get the wing just mounted to the car, make sure the screws I've got are okay, make sure all the holes line up before we give it the final sanding for spraying. So let's get the wing mounted. So that's the wing on. That was a little bit of messing around. I put the 3D printed mounts onto the shell first, screwed them up, and then I'd already put the holes in the wing, and they were way off because it's splaying outwards. So I was a bit concerned about that, so I slackened them right off. But what seems to happen, and I don't know if it's because of the 3D printed brackets, if they were more angled on the bottom on the original ones, or if this is how the actual car was, where you kind of got to squeeze them together to get them to put the wing on. But it's on anyway, it looks great. Let's just stick it on the car. Boom! That looks pretty cool. I'm liking it. I am liking it. It's an awesome little wing. It's just very different from anything else. Is it straight? I think because the shocks are sort of moving around, it can be a little bit deceiving because it's down on that end. Yeah. Anyway, that looks pretty awesome. So next up is what am I going to do next? Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll sand the shell and wing down, I'll get it washed, I'll leave it to dry, and then we'll get the black paint on. And then while that's drying, we'll have a look at the driver. Just one thing I do want to show you. I won't be going 100% box art. So box art should have had, oh, I've got a mask goes to windows as well. I forgot about that. Oh yeah. Anyway, there was a silver edging around the two windows on the outside, and also you probably can't see the lines on the shell, but there's a big kind of oval here that was supposed to be like a silver outline. And the front struts are supposed to be silver as well. I was never a fan of that, and I've actually never, any Ninja I've had has never been done complete box art. It's just black with the red decals. So I'm pretty happy not to go 100% box art on it, and just get it all done black, if that makes sense. But yeah, what do you think, guys, so far? I know you might be thinking, this guy's saying this is the sexiest vintage car of all time, is he nuts? I know it might not look the best just yet, but trust me, when this thing is finished, it is just awesome. Right, let's let's waffle, let's crack on. So I just tried something a little bit different in masking. First time I've tried this. So I just obviously got a black pen and I just went round roughly the outline of the windows, so then I could put the masking tape inside, the black line will shine through, which it did, and then just get a sharp knife and cut it out. So obviously the outer lines don't have to be dead straight or anything, it just, because you do that process with your knife. So I've just done one side and trimmed it. Now although it might look a bit messy because of the black line on the protective film, the lines of themselves on the masking will be relatively straight. but I will just go over it again before I paint it. But that seems to have worked okay. And I've always got to get out of jail clause, but I can use some black pinstripe if need be to get straighter lines, but I don't really want to do that. But yeah, it's a different technique that I've not used before, so I'll do the other side and then we'll get some paint on it. This is all washed now, hot soapy water, cleaned out. Before I spray it, I will just go over it with some alcohol wipes and then let it dry, and then we'll get the paint on. Right, so we've got a couple of coats of paint on now, so that's just drying, so I'm going to start doing a little bit of work on the car. I just thought I'd show you how the wheel goes on. It's not like the standard TAMIYA hex. It looks like that. It's quite different. And then what you get, that's your wheel adapter. That's how that works, and that's splayed slightly. So on your drive shaft, it's like cone shaped, so that as you tighten it up, it grips more onto the drive shaft. It's pretty different. So yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, I've also, let's not lose that. I've also taken the bumper off now, as I said I was gonna do. So your training bumper fits. No, it doesn't. It fits like that with 3 screws. So obviously 3 screws out, take that off, and then you're left with this sort of little nub bumper, which in my opinion is way better. I was just looking at the manual, funny enough, and the running pictures of the Ninja by Marui have got the small bumper on instead of the big one. So yeah, driver. So I'm just going to split this, take his helmet off, see what's going on inside, and then we'll get some different colour paint on that if we can fix that up. And then I'll just clean the car up. It's got a bit of dust and stuff. I'm going to whiz the shocks off, just clean them up slightly. But overall, it's awesome. Right, that's the final coats of paint on the shell and wing. I'll just leave it to dry, but it looks like I've got in to all the creases, but we won't fully know until it's finished. I've touched the driver up. Don't know what it looks like if it's zoomed in. Red gloves, red helmet. I had to, in fact I'll leave it there, I had to glue the inside of his face to the front of the helmet. I couldn't really, well, I should have looked in the manual actually, but anyway, I just glued it on either side, and then I glued it, the helmet together as well to stop those gaps. But that looks great to me. That's enough red in it. So I'm now waiting for that to dry. So I'm going to whiz the shocks off the car. What am I going to do? Yeah, I'll whiz the shocks off the tire, get a brush and just clean it all up. I'm not going to go crazy cleaning because obviously this is going out to run in the next video, so it doesn't have to be pristine mint, but I'll get the dust off of it, clean the shocks up, and then it's time to do the tyre writing. And I did notice that tyre looks pretty good, but I did notice on one of them, oh, maybe I'm lying, the grooves, the writing grooves didn't seem that thick, but I might be lying. Anyway, that's quite a big job, and that'll take a couple of coats, and I really have to take my time on this. As I'm getting older, I'm using magnifying glasses, but I'm still kind of struggling to do with tyre writing nowadays. And there's a couple of cars recently that I've not bothered on, but as I keep saying, this has to have it. So when I come back, I'll have cleaned the car up, new shocks, clean shocks, and I've done the tyre writing. Right, that's the first coat of the tyre writing on, and although it's big and it should be relatively easy, it takes a lot of concentration. The lettering, the font of it is very different. So as you can see, one coat's not nearly enough. I did want to, see if I can focus in. That's a bad one because that's cracking slightly. But there, it's got some numbers. Come on, focus in. Just about see them. I wanted to go over that with it as well, but I tried one and just the eyes are just not good enough. And the pen's playing up slightly as well. This is a new pen. This is Craft Smart, and I'm not finding it as good as a Sharpie. But anyway, so that's the hardest bit. The next coat goes on a lot quicker, but given this type of writing, you have to go around the edges a little bit more. So I've not done that yet. So on the next coat I'll really fill it in, and then I'll go around the actual edges of the lettering, which will sharpen it up a lot. But you get the gist of it, how good they look. So what's next? So I'll check if the shell and wing's dry, and then we'll get the protective film off, and we'll get the wing mounted on it. Right, so that's the shell. Obviously the window masks are out and the protective film's off, and it's come up a treat, lovely and shiny. And I've got into all the nooks and crannies, as we call them in the UK. That's the wing and then the shell, and I'm really happy with the masking. That's turned out a treat, to be fair. So what I'm going to do now is, because the tyre writing's not dry, I'm going to fit the wing decals. Now, looking at it, there's a ninja that goes across the top. There's a red outline on either side of the wing flaps, and then there's a number. So I might as well get that in position while the wing's loose, and then we'll mount it on the body. And I'm saying that I might not be able to. I'll have to look at instructions now whether any of the other decals go sort of under where the wing's going to sit, if that makes sense. So we'll get the decals on the wing next. Right, that's the wing done. Looks great. And by the way, guys, thanks for telling me that I'd cut the back of the wing out wrong. I'd left it full there, and obviously it should look like that. So I've just cut it out quickly, but I'll have to do a bit of sanding. But that's all the decals that go on the wing. Very minimal, but they do look really good. That red does look great. So yeah, looking at the instructions, see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. So these red pinstripe lines have to go on next, because if I put that wing on, it's going to get right in the way of it. So I'll put the pinstripes on the shell now, and then when that's done I can fit the wing. And to be honest, that's probably the hardest decals to put on. So yeah, it's getting to the sharp end now. I might just put a second coat on the tyres now as well. Well, those pinstripes are a little bit of a mission to get on. Now obviously they're reproduction, so they're not numbered, and you're kind of having to guess. But your starting point's pretty crucial on this. That's taken me about an hour to get those on. They look good, they look great, and everything overlaps, so you've got to get your knife and just trim everything up. But yeah, they look good. You get the gist of it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So what I'll do now is I'll bang the wing on now, and then we can start decaling properly. Right, wings on. Starting to come alive now. I'm liking it. I like it a lot. Oh, it's a bit rough there. Let's sand that. But yeah, you get the gist of it. Right, now I'll put all the decals on. Right, that's the shell finished. And there's not many decals on it, to be fair. It's definitely less is more on this one. But it works. I think it's all the colours. So obviously we've got the Ninja, the shaft drive system 4-wheel drive, Marui racing team, big 4-wheel drive, that decal at the front. Obviously the same on the other side. I've added that Ninja on the roof. I may take it off at a later date, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it looks too bad. But yeah, that looks well. That's strange looking shell, isn't it, shape wise? When it's off the car, it looks quite odd. Right, so I tried to put a second coat on the tyres, but it started lifting the first coat, so they need to harden a little bit more. So I'll leave them to harden, and then we'll bang the driver figure, and we'll start to put it all together next. Look at that now. Oh my word. Look at that. So obviously I fitted the driver in there now, and I guess you can see now why I wanted the helmet and gloves red. It really does match well. But, that looks awesome. Right, I've given the tyres a second coat just, and obviously they're way whiter now. But I think we're going to need a third coat. But what I'll do is I'm going to bang them on the car now. Because I've got a lot of trimming work to do on this. Since I painted it, there's bits I'm not happy with. And I'm also going to run it, so maybe I won't put an extra coat on the tyres in case that rubs off a little bit, and then when I finish running it, then I can sort of finish those wheels off. So yeah, let's bang those wheels on. Right, I've just blasted the tyres over with silicone spray, I guess you call it. This stuff is not as good. This is like more of a lubricant one. So I am looking for another over here. But it does do the job, but the stuff I use in the UK was way better. But all it does is it gives your tyres that shine, like the new. I will give them another spray at some point. I'll let it dry, but it takes it back to that black colour. It kind of takes the edge off of them, which is good. But yeah, that's looking well, isn't it? What a thing. It's beautiful. I love it. Cracking looking car, this. Cracking. Anyway, we'll let the wheels dry and then we'll get the camera on it properly, and we'll get it outside as well and get some light on it. Look at it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Absolutely stunning. And from a different angle, oh, love it. I'll get it outside as well, get some light on it, because it will come alive with sunlight on it. And just a quick side view of it. And then from Maria. And she's equally as pretty from that angle as well, to be honest. So unfortunately not much sun today, but you can see it's popping in the light. What an absolute beautiful thing. Stick in comments what you think, guys. I'm hoping you love this one as much as I do. That's probably its best angle. So I'm going to call that done because it's taken way longer than I anticipated. I thought it'd be like 2-3 hour job, and I've been doing it most of the day and it's still not finished. There's still pieces of the shell that need trimming and sanding. I need to do the tyres again. As I said, the writing's not quite right. But yeah, I didn't want to sort of leave this video overnight or for a couple of days till I do it, because I'm probably just going to leave it alone for a little bit because I've got other projects to do. But what do you think, guys? Are you a fan? Just remember as well, this is 87, so what is it, 33 years old this. I think it's an incredible design, I really do. I know I'll stop going on about how good I think it is, but yeah, it puts it into context when you think 33 years old. So next up for this, next time you guys will see it, we'll get it running, which I'm really excited about, on some loose gravel so I can get some action shots. But I've got to get the right day because the sunlight makes all the difference to this car. It just, the red just explodes. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's awesome. So as I say, I'll end this video here. Please leave in the comments what you think. Is this the sexiest vintage buggy of all time? I don't know. Well, I do. I think it is. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. It's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us. And if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always, guys, happy arseeing.